Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. I'm Richard Beck with Beck Tools, and in this video I have something a little bit different. I've been invited to participate in a YouTuber Fabricator Christmas gift exchange, which I'm really excited about and honored to be part of. This was set up by Alex from AM Custom Fab. I know a lot of you guys watch his channel. It's really cool. He does lots of cool stuff. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of Fabricator channels that are participating in this, and every one of their channels will be in the description of this video down below, so you can go check out all the other gifts that are built, fabricated, and exchanged. So I have drawn the name of GarageFab, and I'm going to design and build a custom knife out of 1095 high carbon steel. I'm going to CNC machine it on the MR1. I'm going to, cut the stock. I'm going to go through the whole process step by step on how this whole thing is done. And then at the end, I will be unboxing the gift that was sent to me, and we're going to check that out. Now, if you want to see GarageFab's reaction and unboxing of this gift, you can go over to his channel and check that out. Of course, all the links will be in the description of this video. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm honored to be part of it.
All right, this is the knife we're going to be cutting on the CNC. So let me just go into a little bit how I designed this. So I'm using Autodesk Inventor. I started with an extrusion, and I just did some fillets, and then I did a sweep. So basically using, this sketch, and then I swept it along that path, and that gives me the bevel. Then I mirrored that and got the other half of the knife. I had to delete the face. There must have been some type of error. Added the holes and the radius right here. So that's all pretty straightforward. Then I went ahead and added this jimping because I like it. It gives you grip right where your thumb goes. So my goal is to make a production knife, right, that I sell. So the very first ever production knife, I don't have a name for it yet. It's going to go to GarageFab. So over here, the process, this is my stock, and I'm going to start off by cutting that on the saw, and then I'll put 2 holes in it with the CNC. Now these holes are going to be used for the fixture that I make, and then the first thing I'm going to do with the next setup is I'm going to machine the profile. So then I will go ahead and machine this bevel, and then I'm going to engrave on this side GarageFab, and then on the back side I'm going to engrave Beck Tools. There, if I back out you can see it. So this side will say Beck Tools, this side will say GarageFab, and I'm using this jagged font, so I hope it doesn't look like it's just a bad engraving. Once you get all this done, you just go to CAM, and then you go to Post Processor, and then you export to the CNC. So anyways, let's get started.
All right, so we got 4 blanks in case I mess up, again, and hopefully this is enough. So I hit it really lightly because it's a 36 grit belt and I don't want to take the time to change it. But I've got all the edges, nice and not sharp, no burrs. So now we know when we put this in the CNC, it's going to sit flat. To make sure that everything is flat with each other, like that this is flat compared to the spindle, and that this one is compared to this one, they're all in the same exact plane. I put these on here. I use a dial indicator to get them lined up, and then I machined these shelves into the soft jaws. So now I know they're 100% perfect. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. So we're going to set our stop. The reason I'm setting a stop is so I can do more than one. So like I said, I like to be efficient. Now I'm going to double check. I'm going to loosen that just a little bit. Make sure I actually get it up against the stop. Okay, so now that that's in there, now we need to zero out the corner with the probe. So let's go ahead and send the machine to the front. Now we got to take out the 4mm end mill that's in there. I was using that for something else. I am actually going to use this for most of the process. But first, we have to tell the machine where 0 is. And we can load our first tool, which is going to be a 4mm carbide end mill. And this is going to punch our holes. And these holes will be used to locate. Now, you don't want any extra stick out because that'll just make your end mill break off. And you want this to be really tight, because if your end mill gets pulled down or shoved up, that's bad. All right, now we're going to set the Z height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slightly go down, and I'm going to move it into steps, so every click will be 1/1000th. I'm going to wiggle this back and forth while stepping down. I can feel it start to rub, and now it's rubbing on there. I can do one more. Now it's stuck. So I go up. Okay, so that's 0.08 away. So come over here. So I want to do this safely, and I go back to 1,000 steps, and I go down or zero it out. I go down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I zero it again. So now I have my X, my Y, and my Z set. These holes will be used for holding it onto the fixture in future operations. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to deburr these holes because there's a little burr. So if I try to put this on the fixture, it'll be held off and it won't be tight. Okay, so we've got these holes deburred. Now, I do this for customers. I make them blanks, so I do have a fixture here with a hole spacing. I try to convince every customer to use the same hole spacing as the last customer for obvious reasons. But it appears this doesn't match. Oh, wait a second. It does match. So my fixture plate, it's true and square, so I can just keep rotating it. This one matches. Now, before I put this fixture block into the machine, I want to make sure that it hasn't been banged into, right? So if something hits this, it'll create a raised burr. And then when I load this, it won't be flat. So since this sits around the shop and there's a chance that it could have fallen on the floor, we're going to take our stone. And if there are any raised burrs, this is going to knock those off. So when I first started to rub on this, it wasn't super smooth. I could feel it like tick, tick, like just little bits, pieces. But now, super smooth. It glides, doesn't hang up anywhere. So I know there's no burrs that's going to make this thing not flat to the world. So wipe it off. And then to make sure that there aren't burrs here that might hold this at some weird angle, we're going to do the same thing to the top. I can feel that. All right, so we have two good surfaces. Now we can load our fixture into the CNC and put our piece on and and then we're going to cut the profile. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we are going to put our blank onto our fixture. Now, I cut my stock just like 20 thousandths too short. So the back of every one of these is going to be absolutely custom handmade because I don't think it's going to clean up that very edge. But that is fine because a little bit of custom handwork on the knife does, you know, make it a little bit more unique. So we will have a little bit of that. And I do a little bit of finishing on each one of these anyways. It's not like I just pull these off the machine and I'm like, oh, we're all done, you know. The machine just saves a lot of time. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to run this with the door open. It's gonna make a mess in my shop, but hey guys, for YouTube, we'll make a mess. I'll go ahead and try to zoom in here. So maybe we can get... All right, end mill didn't break. Hopefully we make it through this part with no breakages. Sorry for moving the camera during the shot, but just trying to get a better view for y'all. So I'm going to capture a little bit of real-time CNC machining, and I am going to time lapse just because this is a 9-minute program. I don't think you guys want to sit here for 9 minutes and watch this. I mean, after the first couple passes, it pretty much does the same thing. I'm stepping down 30 thousandths of an inch at a time, going 6,000 RPMs, 18 inches a minute. It's a 4 millimeter end mill, carbide end mill, and full width slotting. So the thing about full width slotting is when you get to the very bottom, you have to make sure that last pass is very, very thin. Because if you have a lot of tool pressure, it will actually grab the stock that's just free floating and it'll pull it into the end mill. It'll snap the end mill off. So this full width slotting tool path will stop 5 thousandths above the bottom of the part, and then it will come back down and do the final pass. And when it does the final pass, it's actually going to take an additional 2 thousandths of material off radially. So the tool pressure should be low. So even if it catches, it shouldn't, and the remaining amount of material left is like tinfoil, so there shouldn't be enough binding to break the end mill. So that's kind of critical because I've broken a lot of end mills machining knives this way. The alternative is to start at the very outside of the stock and then just machine away all the material, which takes longer and wears your end mills out a little bit faster. But that might be something, if you're going to run a bunch of these and you want to walk away and go inside, you will have to do it that way, just because this way of doing it does require a little bit of babysitting. All right, we're about 3 minutes into this. I'm going to go ahead and time lapse to the end. Now we're going to take it over to the belt grinder and do all the hand work just to clean up the perimeter. After we do the bevel, we'll then go back to the belt grinder again and do the final finishing on the blade. Then we'll machine the scales, and then we'll do the final hand finishing of the scales. So right here you can see, now it's got some stuff hanging off of it. Paper thin, but we still gotta go clean this up. All right, so now we're gonna clean it up. This back part right here, we'll just blend that in. We got all these little paper thin chunks. All right, now I'm gonna blend the back here. And because this is now custom, I'll have to heirloom fit the handle scales onto the back. So, is what I did here was I just cleaned up the back, the spine, and this will get some final cleanup. I didn't really do anything here because I'm still going to machine the bevels. But so this is ready for beveling. Now I could just put a guide on here, put a 36 grit belt and go and just do this on the grinder. But one of the focuses of this YouTube channel is CNC machining. This all started because I got into knife making and I started selling these grinders. So these kits are available if you ever want like a super high performance 2x72 belt grinder. Go over to Beck Tools and you can pick up a kit. My latest upgrade is I'm now selling these grinders with fully CNC machined D plates. So I hate to derail, but this is super high precision, high quality D plates. Nobody else in the 2x72 belt grinder world has a D plate like this, not even close. So that's one thing that kind of sets mine apart from everybody else's. But anyways, back to the knife build. All right, guys, this next part, I'm definitely going to time-lapse the entire thing. It's an 18-minute program, and it's going to be beveling this side. I will then, right now I'm 3D printing a spacer so that when I flip it over, I will have support for the bevel, and then we'll do the other side. But these bevels, I mean, I'm not going to record real-time 18 minutes of just footage. I'm going to record it so you can see everything, but I'm going to time-lapse it, probably like 10x or something. So here's something I've learned, is that you have to support this when you're machining, because if you don't, you get extra vibration, and then this will actually deflect. So I've started doing this, where I 3D print a piece that is equal to the bevel. So then I super glue this right down to my fixture. So that way when I put this in there like this, it's supported. So when I machine the other side, I have the same amount of rigidity that I did when I machined the first side. And that actually gives you a way better surface finish. Actually, it gives you an equal surface finish on both sides. Oh, that's a lot of glue. Came out fast. So I need a way to spread that and not my fingers. So, all right, I was able to wipe it off. So now I'm just gonna kind of lay it down, move it into position. These bolts started. The world. They're not starting. Am I lined up? It's already starting to stick. Push it up against. Okay, is it up against? Ah. There's a little bit of gap. And I mean, I'm not going to get 100% surface area contact, but as long as this is, I don't know, we'll tell. If I start the program and it's squealing really bad, then I'm not positioned well with my support. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm a smidge, a little bit of a gap there, but it's already stuck enough I can't move it. So it is what it is. We're going to load the new program, which is bevel side 2. All right. So I really, really hope. This is where, when things go wrong, this is where it goes wrong. When I flip the knife, it's been a really long time since I've done this. So, well, I say really long time. It's been like 2 months. So I guess it hasn't been crazy long, but I am going to start this out a little slow. So bring it down slow. I'm going to turn down the feed rate. And hopefully I don't ruin this. I'm pretty sure my program is accurate. Everybody cross your fingers with me right here. All right, that's 100%. At this point, this blade is either good or it's scrap. There's no way to tell until this program finishes in 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to switch you guys over to time lapse, because let's be honest, you don't want to watch 30 minutes of this. the next part of this is I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna take off the mill scale before heat treating, and then I'm gonna heat treat it, and I'm gonna temper it, and I'm gonna sandblast it, and then the blade will be ready. And then after that, I'm gonna black oxide the blade. So this part's gonna take a little bit. I'll probably time lapse. So this is definitely the hardest part. That part that I just did there, probably the hardest part of the whole process, right? Because if you tilt this even the 10th of a degree, it makes a different finish. And this line will get wavy, and you'll have different angles that will show up really badly. So that part right there on the grinder was probably the hardest part of the entire knife making process. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to switch this belt, and we're going to go with a buffer. All right, now we've got the edge the way we want, and it's uniform. All the lines are perfect. Well, they're not perfect. They'll never be perfect because I'm making this by hand in some sense. Yes, I CNC machined a lot of stuff, but that just saves time on the front end, right? Allows me to be more precise, but you still have to hand finish it if you want it to be good. So, all right, guys, there you go. Now you can see who this is going to. GarageFab. It's hard to get it to focus. And then on the other side, I engraved Beck Tools. I don't know how the graving is going to turn out after I heat treat sandblast and black oxide. It might just be super subtle, which is fine. All right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and heat treat the blade. I'm going to heat it up until it is non-magnetic. Once it's non-magnetic, that means the atoms and molecules are in flux, and then we can quench it. Here's the deal. I spent a lot of time machining this wonderful material, by the way. This is Grip Tech. This is a rubberized resin.
and it machines really great. It feels great in the hand, and it's not crazy expensive, but it's just expensive enough that I don't like to throw it away, especially when it's such a beautiful product. But I machined it, and it didn't fit. Um, so I did have to throw it away. And in my frustration, I didn't have any more black, so I redid this out of red, and I didn't film that. So is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the whole process of machining the black, and then you'll see the finished product in red.
All right, guys. There's the finished product. She's all done. Shaves. All right, so yeah, there we have it. Razor blade sharp. Let's see if I can get some good lighting here. But now I'm gonna open the gift that was sent to me. And this is really cool. This was created by Adam Dueling. He is on YouTube, he's on Instagram. This guy's an absolute professional. His stuff is pristine. So I'm pumped to see what's in this box. I feel like I don't deserve it, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna accept it. All right, guys, here we go. Opening up my gift from the 2025 Fabricator Exchange. Got some stickers, just in case I mispronounced it and said it wrong, but you guys recognize that channel. Dude, these are sweet stickers. Dueling Designs. This guy is a true professional. I've seen some of the stuff he's done. Pretty dang cool. Check out his YouTube channel and check him out on Instagram. Links will be in the description to his channel. Oh man, it's packaged well. I need this knife. I should have cleaned off my welding table. It becomes a catch-all in between projects. Any of you guys who fabricate, you know how that is. A moment of truth. Oh, nice. That is sweet. Check it out, guys. Right there. Crafted by Man and Machine, December 2025. This is sweet. So, I think this was lasered. It has to be. It's very fine. But this is kind of my logo, the 3rd gen BA shredder. It's got his logo down there. Look at this. Really sweet. Patinaed. He bent that. This is bent and TIG welded. Man, beautiful. That is stinking sweet. Thank you. I'm gonna be hanging this up. Guys, there it is. It's a beautiful piece. Now, if you want to see exactly how he made this, the process, the whole build, you're going to have to watch that on his channel. A link to that video will be in the description of this video. You can go check out the process. This is cool.